Earlier this week, I went to my favorite yoga class. And after class, I was briefly talking with the yoga instructor. And she told me that she listened to my podcast and she said that I was very similar to her, and she said that I was super spiritual, and she said that I was really self-aware and just like giving me so many compliments, telling me how my work inspires her in her business. And it just was you can't see me right now, but I'm smiling. It just was one of the highlights of my week. I've been having women telling me how my work is supporting them and helping them. And there's an extra oomph when you're getting that feedback in person from someone who you know and, someone who you also respect, because I've been going to her yoga classes I've been going to the gym. I just got my 6-month anniversary little bonus point thing. So I've been going to the gym for like 6 months. I think I've been taking her classes the entire time. So of course I've been loving her work and being so supported by her amazing work and getting stronger in my body and all of this good stuff. And for her also to see that value in my work and to reflect that back to me with that gratitude and appreciation. Oh my goodness. It just felt so good. So I was leaving the gym after our conversation, after an amazing yoga class, and I was thinking to myself, like, oh my goodness, every single time someone compliments me and they compliment my work, I kind of have that ongoing joke in my head of like, you really fuck with me? You fuck with me for real? So I had this moment of like, for real, like, you fuck with me. And it was so lovely and it felt so good. And I was reflecting on that moment and basking in that gratitude that I felt. And I was thinking about how, wowzer, like, I used to think that people hated me. It wasn't my mindset so much that it was the thoughts I was thinking, but I did have the mindset, like in the back of my mind, I was telling this story that if somebody's going to be hated, it's going to be me. If somebody is going to have a fucking angry mob going against them, it's going to be me. Also, these are things that have happened. We don't have time for a story because we got to keep it cute, because I'm back to doing 2 episodes per week and I'm going to challenge myself to stay under the storage limits. We don't have time to explain it. Focus. So, okay. I just felt like I wasn't likable and I felt like I wasn't lovable. And this is because people didn't like me, right? So this past week, for the past 2 weeks, we've been talking about the I Can and I Should course. I don't know if we've talked about it every single episode, but if you're on my email list, you've been getting the letters in the newsletter, and we've been talking about the I Can and I Should course. We've been talking about self-esteem. What is your self-esteem? Your self-esteem is what you believe you can do, what you believe you can achieve, what you believe you can accomplish. Your self-esteem, plain and simple, is your belief in yourself. So if you're on my newsletter, if you're not on my newsletter, all you have to do is get the free resource library. It's linked in the show notes or the description, and then you'll be put on my email list and you'll get my newsletters 3 times a week. So what we've been talking about in the newsletter is their no doesn't mean anything. And I had this powerful moment of realization of having this woman who I like and respect express her liking and expressing and respecting my work. I had that moment of somebody telling me, yes, I like you. Yes, I want to be in community with you. And it brought me back to all of the times that I've been told no. No, I don't want to be your friend. No, I don't want to connect with you. No, I don't want to be around you. No, I don't want to hang out with you. I've been told no a lot. I've been rejected a lot. And not just in romantic relationships, but specifically in friendships. And a lot of times when people are telling us no, whether it's in friendships or it's business, it's, in your money, your finances, your career, you're making pitches, you're sending proposals. People are saying no right now. People don't want to invest in your business. People don't want to support your work. People don't want to like your posts on the fucking Instagram. Like, a lot of times when we are being told no again and again and again, we internalize it and we make it mean something about us. So in the emails, we've been talking about how their no doesn't mean anything until you decide to quit in response to their no. We're really having a conversation about taking your power back and being the leader of your mind. It's you deliberately deciding who you are, who you get to be, and what you get to have, regardless of how anybody else in the world is responding to you and how anybody else in the world is treating you. I recently, this past month, I was very triggered around my relationships with women and having some experiences that I can only describe as weird. And I just had this moment of defeat because really quickly, very briefly, there was this woman who also is like a tarot reader, spiritualist, business owner. And a couple of years ago, I had reached out to her to do a collaboration and to build a friendship. The collaboration ended up, it just didn't work out, wasn't good timing, whatever. And so a couple of years later, I had started recently, right, this year, I had started watching more of her content. It was resonated with me. I'm like, oh, this is like so awesome. So of course I'm commenting and I'm showing love because that's just who I am. I'm not really somebody who has an ulterior motive. I'm not somebody who's like, oh, I'm going to try to get close to this person because it can help me, get something or get to where I want to be in my life. Do I understand that relationships can be mutually beneficial? Of course. Do I understand how, making connections with people can support me along my path? Absolutely. Oh my God. Hold on. What the hell? Okay, girl, I had a weird little tech glitch. It doesn't matter. Focus. So I'm never willing to sacrifice my integrity in order to get ahead, right? We just know last week, a couple of months ago, I did that kind of collaboration with the multimillionaire guy who's a TEDx speaker. And I thought, oh yeah, this will be a really great relationship to have. Of course, the more that my company and his company form this relationship, he can help me, he can support me. Obviously, Natalie Hughes will have a TEDx talk in her lifetime, and it'll be so amazing and so inspiring. Maybe this person will help me move down that path. But I ended up ending the relationship because there were problems with the integrity of his company, period, point blank. At no point does somebody having money or status make me want to connect with them deeper if I don't trust them, period, point blank. So anyway, there's this woman, she's a spiritualist, she has her own business. I'm starting to get more into her content and I'm commenting because I genuinely and authentically find value in the work and I want to express my appreciation. And also I know what it's like. You want those comments, you want somebody to like the post because it boosts you across the algorithm. I'm going to help a sister out. You know what I mean? That's just who I am and that's how I behave. So we're like kind of maybe starting to get closer. I'm commenting on her videos. She's kind of commenting on my videos. Fabulous. One day she is live on her YouTube channel and I'm in the live chat and I'm just participating as a member of the community. And she is like, oh yeah, go check out Natalie's channel. Thank you very much. And also we might be doing a collaboration for you guys, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whoa, we are doing a collaborate. Okay. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not against it, but sure, it would have been lovely if we had had that conversation between, us personally. This could have been an email, but sure, it just, okay. I mean, yeah, sure, why not? So I tell her that I'm going to DM her on TikTok, because that's where we were also like, following each other, whatever. So yeah, I end up reaching out to her because I said that's what I was going to do. I am a woman who has integrity. If I say that I'm going to do something, then I'm going to do that thing, period. My integrity is the reason why you're getting a second podcast episode, and it's Saturday, even though I really am not allowed to work on the weekends, especially not when I'm doing pick a card readings and emails and all of that stuff all throughout the Monday through the Fridays. I have to have time to rest and relax and do nothing. However, I said I want 2 episodes coming out every single week on the podcast. So guess what? We're going to get an episode out every single week, right? So I have integrity. I do what I say I'm going to do. That's also how I have self-trust. We've talked about this many times. Okay. So I sent her the I sent her the DM on TikTok, and the messages are just weird. I don't like the energy. I don't like the vibe. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be kind. She says that she has a little bit of social anxiety. I'm like, no big deal. I also have social anxiety. I'm so happy that you said that. I'm nervous. Things are weird. I know that I've had weird, kind of almost traumatizing experiences with, spiritualist women in the online space and like, I totally get it. I understand it, blah, 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 blah. And then she responds to this message of me being kind and compassionate and, expressing support to help her with this thing that she's just, shared with me that she struggles with. And she responds back to me. She's like, you make it sound like this call is about to be an interview. LMAO, relax, capital RELAX. And I could really say more of what happened and we could get all of the context and then you guys would understand why I took the position that I did, but I don't really give a fuck if you get it or not, because at the end of the day, it was a rude, disrespectful message. I responded to her sharing her own emotional challenges with kindness and compassion. She responded to me with blatant fucking disrespect. So I blocked her. Thank you and good day. Because what? Anyway, so after I had that moment and just the challenges that came up with that and the feelings that came up with that and the disappointment that came up with that and the old wounds of past relationships with women and experiences with women in the spiritual online space and all this stuff, all of that stuff was coming up for me. And I was sitting with myself and I was thinking, oh my God, I'm getting married in Italy. You guys, I'm getting married in Italy. Do I currently have a fiance? No. Do I currently have a boyfriend? No. Do I have a soulmate? Yes. Am I still getting married in Italy no matter what because I'm a manifestor and I get what I want? Absolutely yes. The other pieces of the puzzle are irrelevant. I'm so sorry if the groom is listening to this. At the end of the day, the truth is, it really is irrelevant. It really is irrelevant. I don't know who's going to be standing at the end of the aisle, but it will be somebody and the location will be in Italy, right? So I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking about my soulmate relationship. I'm thinking about just my desires for marriage and a family and community. And I have this moment where I'm sitting with myself and I'm going, oh my God, I'm not going to have anybody to invite to my wedding. I'm not going to have anybody to invite to my wedding because I don't have friends. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have friends. And, you know, those old experiences from childhood in the past and all of that are coming up. And I'm like, what if I never make friends? Like, what if nobody ever gets me? What if nobody ever understands me? My goodness, what if this doesn't happen for me? So that was something that I was dealing with last month. And, you know, I moved through that. I ended up getting even closer with one of my closest friends as a consequence of that experience and just kind of like some fallout from that experience. But anyway, what's the point? The point is, I had this woman, this yoga instructor. Oh my God, she fucks with me for real. Thank you. I appreciate it. And so I'm thinking about that and I'm reflecting on everything, right? The compliment I just got, the relationship with women shit that I've been healing and moving through the past couple of weeks. And I'm thinking, wow, there were moments where people told me no, they didn't want to be my friend. No, they didn't want to hang out with me. And I internalized that, meaning I made that mean I'm not a likable girl. I'm not a lovable girl. I am, unwanted, undesirable, not in a romantic sense, not in a physical sense, but just as a friend and as a companion. I struggled with that for a really long time. And having that interaction made me think about how, oh my goodness, there were so many times that I took somebody else's no to mean something about me. But the truth is that their no means absolutely nothing. People get to choose many things, but there are certain things that people don't get to choose. What do I mean by this? I mean, people get to decide that they don't want to be your friend. They get to decide that they don't want to hang out with you. They get to decide that they don't want to invite you to their third grade birthday party or their second grade birthday party or their first grade birthday party or their fourth grade birthday party. Even though you really want it to be their friend. But then one day you're 26 years old and you're looking back on it and you're thinking to yourself, why did you ever want to be her friend? She was a crybaby. She had a terrible attitude. She did not have a good sense of humor. There was nothing to desire to be friends with. Anyway. I'm sitting and I'm thinking and I'm realizing I took so much shit personally. And the truth is, people have the power and the authority to decide who they want to hang out with, who they want to buy from, who they want to invest their time and energy into, who they want to treat with respect. People get to make that choice. However, they don't get to decide whether or not you're lovable. They get to decide whether or not they're going to love you, but they don't get to decide whether or not you're lovable. And a lot of people don't really understand that. There's a lot of people who will dislike one person, and then they will set out to try to convince a whole bunch of other people that they should also dislike this person. But you don't have the power to do that. You don't have the power to cancel somebody. You have the power to say, I don't like this person. I don't like what they stand for. I'm not going to align myself with them. I'm not going to hang out with them. But I don't have the power to decide whether or not somebody likes them. And I also don't want that power. Because who really gives a shit? And at the end of the day, We really are all worthy and deserving of love. We really are at the end of the day. And I like that. Because it means that no matter how many times you fuck up or no matter how many mistakes you make, there's always going to be somebody in the world that likes you. There's always going to be somebody in the world that understands you. There's always going to be somebody in the world that supports you. There's always going to be somebody in the world who has your back. And I think that that's beautiful. Do I always agree with the choices and decisions that people are making? No, but I can still think that the concept in and of itself is beautiful. Because at the end of the day, nobody is ever alone. Nobody is ever having something that they want to offer that absolutely zero people have an interest in. And that's beautiful. So, okay. Their no doesn't mean anything about who you are and what you get to be and what you get to have. Somebody deciding that they don't want to be my friend does not mean that I'm an unlikable girl who can never have friendships. Somebody deciding that they want to gossip about me behind my back does not mean that I am only available to have friendships with people that aren't loyal, or that I can only connect with people in friendships who will betray me or disrespect me or backstab me. I don't have to take their behavior personally. I don't have to make their behavior mean something about me. And this is why in your mindset practice, you're always reparenting yourself. Because there are ways of being that we did not get. We did not develop these skills in our childhoods. A lot of the times, we are going to internalize the shit that happens to us because we don't have anybody telling us any different. Remember, I feel like I've shared this story a million times, but I've only had one life, and I'm not making up these fucking stories, so I'm gonna have to reuse the same memories that I have. Thank you. When I was younger, my family was living in the same apartment complex as one of my cousins. And so it was like a Thanksgiving or something. It was like some sort of holiday. And there was a family get together. So we've got like a couple of the cousins and the aunts and uncles, whatever. So it was me, who's like in middle school at the time. I'm like 6th grade or 7th grade. And it was one of my older cousins who's 4 years older than me. And then it was another one of my older cousins who was maybe 6, maybe 8, maybe 10 years older than me. You know what I mean? Like more significantly older. Me and that cousin, we didn't hang out personally. We didn't really grow up together, whatever. But my 4 years older cousin and that other cousin, they did hang out. They had their own relationship. You know what I'm saying? So my oldest cousin there, she has a car, which is so freaking cool. And so we're all hanging out in the car, the three of us. So I'm sitting in the back seat, 4-year older cousin is in the passenger, oldest cousin is in the driver's seat, whatever, right? And so we're just talking, and I'm so excited, and I'm like, we should just like do something. We should like go someplace. Why don't we go to the mall? You know, at the time, when you're in middle school, the mall is one of the coolest places that you can go. I'm like, let's go to the fucking Ontario Mills, girls. Like, what are we even doing here? Let's go to the fucking mall. So, I'm like super excited, and that's just who I am. That's just my personality. I am happy. I am jovial. I am going to have a good time, and you cannot take my joy. You cannot break my soul. I'm going to be happy, and the world is blessed because of it. Thank you very much. So I'm being my happy, excitable self, and oldest cousin is not having it, apparently, because she like snaps and is like, oh my God, you are so annoying. And I'm like, ouch. You're hurting me. And she's like, no wonder 4 years older than you, cousin, always talks about you being so annoying. And I'm like, double homicide. Because not only have you just violated me and the core of who I am, happy and excitable, but also you've told me that 4-year-old cousin who, for a majority of my young life, I thought was my best friend. I thought we were best friends. Do you know how that feels to think that you're best friends with someone, but they don't think that you're their best friend? Ouch. That shit hurted. Those experiences where I think someone likes me, I think someone is connected with me, somebody is willing to hang out with me, and then I find out you've been having a birthday party every single fucking year, and you never invited me once? Is that why you never came to my birthday parties? My world is crumbling right now. And in those moments, I didn't have a really cool older gal to tell me, fuck those stupid bitches. I'm going to be a really good mom because I'm going to tell my kids shit like that. I'm sorry. Sometimes that really is the best. That really is what you have to say. Fuck those stupid bitches. There's a song playing in my head. It's a gospel song, which is, it's kind of a funny song. Well, I don't think it's meant to be funny, but it's funny to me, and it was funny to me and my friends a couple of years ago. But in the gospel song, she says, I love God. You don't love God? What's wrong with you? And that's how I feel about myself. I love nephews. You don't love nephews? What's wrong with you? Fuck those stupid bitches. Instead of... I'm sorry. I think I'm hilarious. Instead of taking those moments and making it mean something about me, there's something wrong with my personality. I'm not lovable. You really get to develop the mindset of I like myself and I love myself. You don't like me? It sounds like a personal problem. It sounds like a personal fucking problem. I like me and I like who I am as a woman. I like that I have integrity. I like that I am the friend who is open and honest and loyal and caring and giving. I like that I am the friend that you can call at 3:00 in the morning and I'm going to wake up, and I'm actually going to wake up at 2:55 because I'm psychic. So the spirits are going to wake me up out of my sleep and I'm going to know someone's in trouble. This has literally happened before. I was getting ready to get on a plane. I think this was 2021 when I was getting ready to move to Georgia. I literally had plans to go to the office, to go to the airport. I was flying somewhere and I was asleep. I wake up out of my sleep and I see one of my friends texting me. It's Jordan. She's like, hey, I think I'm kind of close by your house. My car is like, something's wrong with my car, blah, blah, blah. I'm at the local Denny's, da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay, I'm on my way. I don't know anything about cars. I really was just there for moral support, but I was there at the local fucking Denny's. Because that's the kind of girl that I am. Because that's the kind of friend that I am. I like that about me. You don't want somebody who's going to have your best interest at heart? Okay. You don't want to be friends with somebody who brings love and joy and happiness and the heart and the mind of God everywhere she goes? Okay. You don't want to be friends with somebody who is going to be cheering the absolute loudest for you when you succeed? Okay. That's a personal fucking problem. That is on you. That doesn't have shit to do with me. I love nephews. You don't love nephews? What the fuck is wrong with you? You don't like joy, bitch? You don't like happiness? You don't like kindness? You don't like compassion? You don't like love, ho? I'm joking, but also, serious. I like myself and I love myself, and everybody's not going to like it. And in business, everybody's not going to get it. Everybody's not going to understand it. Everybody's not going to want to buy it. But just because they don't want it, they don't get to decide whether or not somebody else is going to want it. Just because they don't want to be friends with you does not mean that they get to decide whether or not you have friends. Just because they don't want to hang out with you does not mean that they get to decide whether or not you have people to hang out with. Just because they think that you're fucking annoying does not mean that they get to decide whether or not people think you're a blast. I have people commenting over 6 years that I've been doing this. I love your laughter. I love your laughter. I love your laughter. It's one of my favorite things about you. Do you know how much shit I had to go through? I have so many different laughs because over the course of my life, I tried to change my laughter because people were picking on me, or people were not liking me. Or do you know that experience of when you're experiencing so much joy and so much happiness that you cannot contain the good feelings that are running through your body, and it has to erupt out of your mouth in the sweet sounds of laughter when you're feeling so fucking good? I experience good feelings that are a level of good that you bitches can't even fucking fathom. You'll never understand this joy that I have in my heart. Do you know that feeling when you're experiencing and you're expressing your joy and somebody looks at you like you're fucking insane? Do you know that feeling? When you're expressing and experiencing happiness and joy, and when there's laughter, there's also often connection and community because we are finding mutual joy in the same thing. And so it's almost like your laughter is in and of itself a bid for connection. Laugh with me, connect with me, and somebody looks at you like you're fucking insane. Oh my God. That's rejection. And when you don't have somebody in your life to love you and tell you, fuck that stupid bitch who has a terrible sense of humor. Fuck that joyless hoe. When you don't have somebody in your life to tell you that, you can internalize that. You could take that shit personally. People don't like my laugh. Maybe I shouldn't laugh as much. Maybe I shouldn't be as happy. Maybe I should sound different. People don't like the sound of my voice. People don't like it when I talk, so I shouldn't share my ideas. Every single time you dim your light in response to somebody telling you no, a fairy dies. This is a fact. Don't look it up. Just trust me. The source, my imagination. Every single time you dim yourself, you change who you are and the way that you present yourself to the world. Every single time you sacrifice your integrity because somebody told you that they don't like you, an angel loses its wings. Killed. Murdered. Blown up. Every single time. You quiet down. You don't share your ideas with the world because somebody told you that you weren't good enough, because somebody told you that they didn't want to buy what you had to offer, because somebody told you that they didn't like it, because somebody told you that your marketing was too pink and childish. Every single time you hold yourself back because of what some silly bitch that doesn't get it said, a puppy is murdered. I'm serious. Don't look it up. Just trust me. A puppy dies. Do you want that blood on your hands? Do you want puppy blood on your hands? No, I don't think so. So what's the alternative? The alternative is that you're going to love yourself. You're going to honor yourself. You're going to accept yourself. You're going to be the leader of your mind. And you're going to decide who you are and what you get to have, regardless of what they say. The last thing that I'll say in this episode to really drive it home is that Jamie Kern Lima, I love Jamie Kern Lima. I love her bad. Okay? Her story is so inspiring to me. Her book, Believe It, changed my fucking brain chemistry. I love Jamie Kern Lima. If you don't know Jamie Kern Lima's story, I'm going to tell it very quickly. Jamie Kern Lima has rosacea. For those of you that don't know, that just means that her skin gets very red. I don't experience rosacea. That's all I can say, right? She gets really flushed. She has like redness and like red patches and different things like that on her skin. And so, Jamie Kern Lima, I believe she was working in television. I don't remember what she was doing, but anyway, she could not find a makeup product that would cover her rosacea. It would still, show through. So, she developed a cosmetic brand and product that was made to cover her rosacea. And so she's getting her makeup products and she's like, all right, I formulated this wonderful product, concealer, whatever, and this shit is gonna do numbers. The girls are gonna love this. They're gonna eat this shit up. Nothing like it on the market. And so she starts taking it to the different places. She takes it to the Ulta. She takes it to the Sephora. They're not fucking with it. They're not fucking with it. They're telling her no. So she's investing her money into this business. She's draining her savings. She is going all in on this fucking business. No after no after no after no after no. People are telling her because she doesn't look like the beauty standard. She's not thick. She's not thin, model looking. Okay? She is not the Western typical beauty standard. And at one point in her book, she tells about an experience where she went to try to sell this. She went to try to like sell shares of her company or something like that because she really needed the money. She's almost bankrupt and like all this stuff. And the people are like, I'm sorry, you've got a great product, but I don't think that women are going to buy makeup from somebody that looks like you. Another no. And what ends up happening, of course, is that she goes onto QVC and she starts selling her products. Go read the book if you want the full story. But she starts selling her products start selling out. Oh my God, the business is taking off. Fast forward a little bit of time, she ends up selling the cosmetic company that she built for $1 billion. Jamie Kern Lima, you're a badass. I love you so bad. And she also talks about in the book how if that person that told her no had actually told her yes and said, I want to buy stocks or buy a portion of the business. I don't know what exactly it was. I want to buy shares or whatever. If that person had told her yes, then a majority of the money that she made when she sold It Cosmetics for the $1 billion, a majority of that money would have gone to that company or that guy or whatever. So Jamie Kern Lima is getting no after no after no. But when these people are telling her, no, they're not going to buy from you. No, consumers don't want real women, right? Consumers don't want women with blemishes. Consumers don't want to see this. Women are not going to buy from this. We're not going to invest. We don't want you in Sephora. We don't want you in Ulta, blah, blah, blah. When they're telling her this, there's a voice inside of her mind that is saying, they're wrong. Oh, I just got chills. We talked about this in the last podcast fucking episode. You have to have faith. Because there's a lot of limiting, unsupportive beliefs that are seemingly logical. It wasn't logical. People telling her that women wouldn't buy from people that looked like her, it wasn't logical. Was it based in a statistical fact? Sure. But was it logical? No. How do we know that it wasn't logical? Well, because in real fucking life, when she went on the QVC and then took the makeup off of her face and showed her face and what it looks like with her blemishes and her rosacea, the girlies started buying. So no, it wasn't logical. But when you live in that hyper-masculine way, where you only believe it if you can see it and you can taste it and you can touch it and you can feel it, you're fucking limited. You think that it's logical. It's not. You live based in observation. And that's a choice. Obviously not a choice that I make. So she had all of these people telling her no after no after no, but she listened to that internal voice. Yes, I have looked up Jamie Kern Lima's birth chart. I believe that she's a Cancer and she's a 12th houser. Very Piscean, very psychic. She is just like me for real. So, the most important part of the story is that they have the power to say no. They have the power to say they don't want your idea. They have the power to say they don't want your coaching. They have the power to say that they don't want to buy from somebody that looks like you. They have the power to say that they don't respect you. They have the power to say that they don't think that you're talented. They have the power to say 1,000,001 different things. And the second that you take their no and you internalize it and you give up on your dreams, that's when you've given your power away. That's when you've let them decide who you are, who you get to be, and what you get to have. And that's when the puppies are slaughtered, y'all. Sick shit. 101 Dalmatians type of sickness. You have to decide you're not going to give your power away. You have to decide, I am the leader of my mind. I decide who I am. I decide that people want what I have to offer. I decide that my work is valuable. I decide that what I have to offer is amazing. I decide that this business is $1,000,000 business, $1,000,000,000 business. I decide that my work is worthwhile. I decide that I am the best friend a girl could have. And I live in my truth. No matter what somebody else says to me, no matter how somebody else treats me, I never make it mean anything about who I am and what I get to have. That is the power of mindset work. That is the power of being the leader of your mind. It is a skill that a lot of us did not develop because we weren't taught, because our parents didn't know. And so now, as an adult woman who is taking control of her fucking destiny, it's your job to say, okay, I'm going to develop the skills that I did not get in my childhood. I'm going to develop these incredibly important life skills. And the skill of being able to boost your self-esteem, the skill of being able to believe in yourself, being able to get your mind behind your efforts, the skill of being able to believe that the achievement of your goal is not only possible, not only available to you, but it is your destiny. And it is something that you obviously get to have. It is something that you obviously get to do. Being able to take yourself on that journey mentally, that is a skill that I believe you must develop. Period. When you want to be the woman who achieves her goals with confidence and with ease, you need to be able to do that. Because if you can't get your mind behind your ability, you're going to give up every single time they tell you no. You're going to doubt yourself. Maybe you're not going to doubt yourself on the first no. Maybe not even the fifth no. But on the 12th day of posting on Instagram and nobody liking it and nobody sliding in your DMs and asking you about your coaching, asking you about your offer, asking you about your service, you're going to start to think, you know what? Maybe this isn't working for me. Maybe it's time to close the doors on this business. Maybe it's time to give up. Maybe I'm never going to get the promotion. Maybe they're never going to see me. Maybe I do have to be a nepotism baby in order to thrive in this industry. Maybe I'm never going to get what I want. You start thinking those thoughts. Now you're on a path to quitting. Now you're definitely on a path to failing. Your mindset is either going to support the manifestation of your desires, or it's not going to support the manifestation of your desires. And the I Can and I Should course is this amazing program that is helping you to develop the skills so that you can have a mindset that supports you in the manifestation of your desires. And it works in every single aspect of life, from your friendships to your business to your money and your finances. We need self-esteem in every single area of life. If I didn't have self-esteem, I would have thought to myself, oh my God, what if I'm not going to have any guests at my beautiful Italian wedding? I would have thought that, and then I would have accepted that, and then it would have been the most depressing thing in the fucking world. Because my soulmate right now has a lot of Libra placements, unfortunately. We can't talk about how much this motherfucker is liked. I would have given up, and I would have been sad, and I would have been disappointed. But I have the tools that I need to change my mind, to see things differently. Also, it's incredibly fucking obvious that I get to have amazing friendships. And of course I get to have community for 1,000,001 different reasons. I want you to be the woman who, when you think about your goals, when you think about your desires, I want you to think, it's obvious that I get to have this shit for 1,000,000 different fucking reasons. Inside of the I Can and I Should course, I'm giving you several of those reasons, and I'm helping you to develop those reasons for yourself, whether it's around your financial goals or it's around your business goals, your career goals, the kind of position that you want to have. You are working your way up that corporate ladder, or it's in your friendships, or it's in your relationships, or it's just in your ability to manifest. The manifestation teachers never talk about the fact that you got to believe in yourself. How many people are walking around going, I'm trying to manifest. I'm trying to manifest. No, you don't try, you do. It's a self-esteem issue. I'm trying. It's not happening. It's not working. I'm not getting the results. I'm not getting what I want. Blah, 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 blah. It's a self-esteem issue. You don't believe in the power that you have to change your life. You don't believe in the power that you have to reprogram your subconscious mind. You don't believe in the power that you have to attract the things that you desire into your life. You need self-esteem for everything. Okay? All right. You want to learn more about I Can and I Should? You want to enroll in the program? You want to look at the payment plan options? click the link in the show notes or the description. I love you so much. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I didn't mean to say that. Well, if you're on YouTube, then you should like, share, comment, and subscribe, but I meant rate the podcast. Rate it 5 stars. And if you're going to rate it anything under 4 stars, then you could skip that part. Okay? I love you so much. Thank you for being here, and I'll talk to you again next week.